As the vehicles of today and tomorrow are coming up with connected features and new technologies, so are the changes required on the manufacturing lines and assembly plants. So, to talk about the same, we are here at the Economic Times Smart Factory Summit 2023, and we are here in talks with Mr. Kunal Agarwal, who's the head of marketing at Cybernetik. Hello, Mr. Agarwal, and welcome to the event.
Hi, thank you for having me over.
So your company has been into this domain for over 3 decades now, right? And you entered the automotive sector probably in 2005.
That's right.
So just to give us to probably like highlight the importance of smart manufacturing, as the vehicles infrastructure or the vehicle domain is evolving in the industry. Could you like just share how important is it and what is your company doing in this domain?
Absolutely. So smart manufacturing, comes with all the terms that you hear today: robotic automation, industrial automation, Industry 4.0. And these are just, I think, now hygiene factors that every automotive manufacturer needs to integrate in their assembly lines, in their manufacturing plants. But when you talk about the future of smart factories, you're talking about some of the topics that were mentioned in today's summit: predictive analytics, predictive maintenance, AI-driven quality checks. These are the concepts that will, I think, shape the future of smart manufacturing in the Indian automotive industry. Cybernetic has been doing robotic automation for the automotive industry since 2005. We've helped plenty of manufacturers automate either parts of their assembly line or the complete turnkey assembly lines. Of late, due to the boom of the EV industry in India, we have been focusing heavily on EV battery pack assembly automation. It is an extremely intricate process. It is very different from what the automotive manufacturers are used to. This requires experience of clean room technologies. It requires experience with adhesive dispensing solutions. You need to have precision in your automation because you're looking at extremely small battery cells, so you need to have experience with electronic assembly lines, and these are all domains that Cybernetic has worked in. We started our company back in 1989 with pharma, for the pharma industry, so we are used to the clean room technology. We work with the adhesive companies, so we know what it takes to implement or integrate adhesive dispensing technologies in turnkey automation lines. And what we are able to do is we are able to cross pollinate our capabilities, our expertise in the various industries, and develop a comprehensive and a completely automated solution for the battery pack assemblies.
Right. But as we are moving towards automation in the manufacturing plants, one of the biggest questions that comes up is how much to be automated, the right balance between manual and automation. Because making up of small parts, or, if they build up robots, big robots there, that could be a hindrance to the manufacturing process. So, how probably like you decide or, you strategize that move, like how much automation is required, probably?
Absolutely. That's a very good question that you actually bring up. Uh, there is always the right balance to strike between complete automation or semi-automatic assembly lines. And I think one very good way to look at it, I'll give you an example of the EV battery assembly line itself. Let's say right from when a battery manufacturer gets the cells. Now, if they come in a box, the minute you have a human touch a cell, and if he touches the terminals, the probes, that battery, it can affect the life of that battery. It can go short. It can affect the OCV, the IR values, and so that is a process that we would definitely want to automate using a robot. But at the let's say at the end of the line, when the battery pack needs to just be picked up and moved, that is something that you can do manually. So there is always a balance that needs to be struck between what is necessary to automate. There are certain solutions we have where it is safer to have a robot handle a particular product. Let's say if you're coating a substrate with a certain chemical, that chemical may be toxic for humans. In that case, you would rather have a robot do it. But in certain cases, let's say it's a simple operation, automating it may be possible, but it may come at a very high cost. In that case, it is always better to have a human or a manual process to do it. And then there are certain processes where automation may not be possible. And in that case, again, there is no option but to do a a manual process. So I think when you divide a particular process into one of these three categories, the decision becomes easier to, and you can decide as to whether you want it to be automated or not. There are also other things you can consider, like is there a higher rejection rate if humans do the process? If robots can do it with complete accuracy, then you would rather have the robot do the process. So somewhere there is always a cost benefit analysis too. If you take the safety angle out of the picture, there is also a cost benefit analysis. So in certain cases, robots having robotic automation can give you a higher ROI. The payback period is shorter. In that case, we always would recommend going in for robotic automation.
Right, so we have talked about opportunities, and I believe you have also built up the EV assembly line for one of the top, OEMs, which has just entered the EV space. So, could you also talk about the challenges that you might have faced during the process, or any challenges that, or any strategies that probably you're working on to, avoid those hurdles?
Absolutely. So we in fact work for one of the tier one automotive two-wheeler manufacturers. They're one of the largest in the world, in fact, and they were working on their battery pack design in the R&D stage itself. And they approached us saying that the battery is right now in the R&D stage, so the design is not finalized. But when they do finalize the design, we need to launch in the market very soon. And typically, building an assembly line for a new product can take 8 to 12 months. Going into full scale manufacturing can take slightly longer. They did not want to wait that much. So, we worked with them in a format called concurrent engineering, wherein while the battery was still in R&D, we started building the assembly line in phases. And we made it in a way that it was flexible. So, as and how the research team made changes in the design of the battery, we could simultaneously make changes in our assembly line. We also implemented the virtual twin, the Rockwell automation speech, if you saw that. They also spoke about the digital twin in manufacturing. So, we implemented that for them. So, because while they're at a POC stage, before they go in for the final product, if they actually make any changes in the product, we can virtually simulate the changes in the assembly line. And the downtime when you switch from research to manufacturing, reconfiguring the line where it could take maybe 6 to 8 months, through the digital twin, it can be reduced down to maybe 1 to 3 months.
Lastly, like next 5 to 10 years, if we see, this is going to be the industry that is going to evolve massively. So, what are Cybernetics plans, going ahead?
For Cybernetic, I think we are always going to be here to support the industry. We are now talking about building cells in India. We found lithium ion deposits in the north, as and how, if and when battery or other cell technologies come to India, Cybernetic would love to be involved in a project where we can help a company automate the process of manufacturing cells as well. But for the time being, as and how the EV industry dominates the automobile sector in India, we see we see a demand for battery packs. There will be a huge demand for companies that will need all types of battery packs for two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers. Now we're talking trucks and buses as well. And right now, it's going to be extremely expensive to continuously import these battery packs from China. So we will have to set up an indigenous manufacturing chain to, I believe, just support the industry in India, bring the prices down. And so that's why I think Cybernetic is well positioned to help the industry bring battery pack manufacturing to India.
But does Cybernetic also has the capability to build up, assembly lines for electric trucks or, bigger, heavy vehicles?
Yes, absolutely. We do have the capabilities to do that, but we are more on, I would say, the kind of work that we do is usually to help companies or OEMs with certain components of the auto component industry is where we would come in. There are already a lot of players that have standard solutions for autos, so like for truck assembly, for four-wheeler assembly, two-wheeler assembly.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you for talking to ET Auto.
Thank you.